Hi, how are you? Hopefully you're doing well. You and your family, and that you are just either staying home or if they're lifting some restrictions in your country, you can safely go out in the world, and hopefully, all this is, has created an opportunity for change. And this is exactly what I wanted to talk about. I need to drink a little bit tea before I start, just because I stopped exercising about half an hour ago, and I'm pretty thirsty right now. So I wanted to talk about change a while ago, and change as a whole, okay? Not only because of what the world is going through right now, but as how we approach change and how are we adapting to change. And of course, I can just say, from my own personal experience and from my own perspective, but I actually do think that change it's pretty good. It's challenging, but it's good. And I feel that the more you change, and it goes, in hand with being exposed, but the more you are presented the opportunity to change early on in life, I think that the easier is to adjust to change later in your life. And let me explain it. So growing up, I was in, let me see, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So I was in 4 schools total. So between elementary, middle, and high school, it was 4 total. And the first time we moved, I was 8, 9 years old, and it was hard in the way that I was leaving all my classmates that we have been together since pre-K. But at the same time, I was so excited for where we were going, because it was totally different for where we were living before. And I was honestly just so happy. It was a new house, and being an extrovert, I don't know if you can tell, I can talk a lot, and I love to meet people. So I was excited about meeting new people and being in another city. Probably for me is easier, change. But I think that started, my journey into being able to adjust to things. And then we were in the new city, and then here we go into teenager years, and I was, of course, always going against the wave or whatever else that everyone was doing. So then I had to repeat a year in the school where I was, couldn't do it. So then my mom enrolled me into another school, so that would be the 3rd school. And I was there just for, I think that it was a year, and then I ended up moving to, the high school where I graduated from. So that gave me the opportunity to meet people with different backgrounds, different upbringings, and then I went to college. I started with one career, and then I changed that career and graduated with something completely different in another college. So you see the pattern in there about change. And I was never scared of change. It was challenging, but I wasn't scared. And then now I was an adult, and I started a job in my field where what I went to school for, and I wanted to change. So I just did not like the area where I was working into. I still wanted to be in what I went to to school for, but in another side of it. And I did the change. I was very happy with it for several years. I worked on, that career path, to keep moving up into, what I was doing, until, of course, things changed when our son, came to life, and before we even knew that we were going to be special needs parents, after he was born, we have already made the decision that, have always said that I was ready to do anything and everything for him. So probably because of all my change through, growing up, I knew that it was part of it, but I never expected that it was going to end up being how it was. But that's why it was so easy for me to quit my job. And because when my son was going through all the medical diagnosis and, we were starting our special needs journey, I just couldn't, work in what I was doing because I was a manager. So demanding hours, working a lot of, days and everything, I couldn't commit to that. And my son was my number one priority. So I quit my job and, decided to be home so I could just focus on him and everything. And, of course, it was the best decision ever. But then things changed in life and then I needed to work again. And I knew that I couldn't go back into, my college degree field because it's so demanding. So I decided to change in career path to do something completely different. And I did different things until I found something that it's not that I did many things. I just did two things, okay? And out of those two, I ended up sticking with one. So I decided to be self-employed, which of course is a totally new world, and have my little own business. And that's what I have been doing since then. So I've been doing that for 6.5 years. And I love it because it gives me the freedom that I need to be with my son, to be, volunteering at school. And that's what I wanted to talk about changing. So, of course, I always say that it's easier to adjust to last minute things when you have been growing up and you have been exposed to change. And I was thinking because a friend of mine said that, they didn't want to move, buy another house soon because, their children were already in this school and their friends, and I totally get that. But I feel that if you never expose your children to change at any age, it's going to be harder for them. Maybe this is not, something general, but it's going to be harder for them to leave the nest. Once they're in college, it's probably going to be harder to adjust to that, or just to life itself. And I'm not saying that you have to be changing all the time, but I just feel that if you are exposing yourself and your own children to change, and embracing that it is okay to change, because we change. We cut our hair, we paint our nails, we do makeup differently, we gain or lose weight, we move from neighborhoods, we may have pets and they died and then you get a new one. So life is about change. Life is about the change that is presented and how well you are adjusting to it. And, I was just thinking about, and I can tell you right away that the time that I think the most is when I'm quiet. So, when, for example, I'm cleaning the bathroom or whatever, that's like my best, what I call my own self, meditation time, because it's just me and my thoughts. So maybe you can try that too. I don't know, while you're cleaning or organizing, just, start thinking about whatever, things, and just start chewing on different ideas. But anyway, so, I just feel that because what the world is going right now, a lot of people were having trouble adjusting to the change, to not being able to, for example, their children go to school, for them not to being able to go to work, or for them needing to work from home. And yes, those are changes, and maybe they're going to be temporary, even though maybe for a long time. it is okay to change. And here's what I wanted to tell you. So I already shared that, I'm self-employed and I have my own little tiny one-person business, and I had to adjust because I couldn't work. I just couldn't work since we started, the stay-home policy since March the 13th. And that means that if I don't work, I have no money. And if I have no money, I have no way to pay my bills. So, of course, we all know that at least in the US, it was the PPP and all these other things. But you know what? I still haven't heard about any, since I applied and then the funds ran out and whatever. So I needed to have a way of, income if what I have been doing all this time, I wasn't able to work on that. I needed to have a way. And this is what I'm so thankful of all the change that I have had in my life, because it was easy for me to say, okay, I cannot do what I have been doing for 6 years and a half. No worries. I can go online and find another job. Yes, it's not going to be working for for me again, like self-employed, but I have no problem. I can adjust. I can go out in there. Of course, because I'm a special needs parent, I couldn't go out and work, where everyone is out, but there's jobs out there. So I went online and, I found a little thing to do on this side, as I call, but actually I can just keep it. And it's something totally different, something that I have never done before, but I'm not scared because this is giving me the opportunity to, try something different. And if I don't like it, well, then you just change again. So I really, really, really wish that if you're watching this and you are unsure about change, I want you to think that it's okay. Jump in the pool. Do it. There's nothing to lose. If you're scared of starting your own business, do it. If you're scared of changing jobs, do it. Especially if you have a job that you're not happy, that they're not paying you well, and you think that you deserve more. If you're in a job that you're working a lot of hours, and again, it's all about what makes you happy. And we only have one life. So why will you want to spend so many hours in a job that you just don't enjoy? Especially because no one knows when, our time to leave this world is going to come. So embrace change. I know that it's challenging. Again, I know that, but embrace it. Don't be scared of change. I told a friend just a couple days ago that I'm a creature that can easily adjust to change. I don't panic. I don't sit in here it's like, oh my God, what do we do? You just find a way. That's what we do. I feel that the best way how to survive things in life, especially when life will give you, will pull the rug under you, is to adjust and just to move on. And don't sit and cry on the things that you lost, because there's no point for that. It's better that you just focus on where you can go from now and just keep moving. So hopefully that makes sense. I being since last week wanted to, talk about this, but I can keep talking about change for a long time. But I just wanted you to know that it is okay to change. It is okay to cut your hair. It is okay to do your makeup in another way. It's okay to try a new color. I just painted my nails blue. They're still stained. I just painted my nails blue for the first time a couple days ago. And I have never in my life painted my nails blue. It's not my color, but I tried, and that's what it is about. Change, it gives you the opportunity to try it, and if you don't like it, then you can go back into what makes you more comfortable, more happy. But I feel that the worst thing is living a life without trying things. At least for me, I just never wanted to regret not doing it, that instead of trying and then later say I did try that. So At least that's for me, and hopefully, that can give you a little bit of encouragement to go and do it. What people say, go and chase your dreams, because you can do it. I feel that if you put your heart and if you work hard, of course, nothing is going to be magic. Nothing is going to be like, oh, money just, fell off a cloud. You have to work hard for everything and anything. But if change is giving you that opportunity to do it, just try it. Just do it. Don't see it in that square box of like, this is my own thing and I don't want to try. I remember talking to somebody who was born and raised where I live, and he said that one time a mentor, he used to call him a mentor, told him, you know why? Because you were born and raised in here, you went to college in here, you're never going to leave this place. And when he told me, he looked at me and he goes, well, you moved, you traveled the world, you relocated. And he goes, was that hard? And I was, of course it was hard, leaving loved ones or friends and everything that you know behind. No one will tell you that it's easy, but I wasn't scared because I have been presented the opportunity of change since early on in my life. So I was actually looking out for change. So maybe because of that conversation or something, he decided to change, later, and he ended up moving. And I'm happy that he did, because he always knew that, oh, I'm never going to, move. And I was like, why not? Why not to try it? Worst case, if you don't like where you're going, then you just go back where you do like to live. So anyway, hopefully, life itself is giving you the opportunity of change in anything, because again, I'm just trying to keep this change thing as a whole. I just want to give you something to think of. So when you're cleaning, when you're cooking, when you're doing your nails, whatever it is, think about change and how you approach change. And the better it is that not to be scared and actually to embrace it. So that's it for today. Hugs and kisses, and take care. Bye.